Hello friends, I Nirmala Rawat welcome you to my YouTube channel. A big thank you for the fantastic response to chapter 12 part 2. This video has achieved highest views among all of the Untold Story of Sita's videos. Thank you. Quick recap. Soma narrates till Sita Haran to Anusuya and her Mata. Moving on to the last part of chapter 12 and first part of chapter 13, that is Sita's sacrifice. Soma continues. Soma ended her narrative as the tears poured down her face. She opened her eyes and wiped them, apologizing. I can never tell this part of the story without weeping, she explained. The pain that Mata went through still pierces me so many years later. Both my mother and I were also teary eyed. As we all sought to gain control of our emotions, my mother began to express her gratitude for sharing this story. I am sure you need some rest, Soma. I know that I do. I must have time to absorb what you have told us. Soma nodded. Will you stay for the evening meal? I can fix it for you now. We must get back to the hermitage. They will be expecting us, but we will come again tomorrow if you will receive us. I am happy to have you as my guest. Tomorrow I will share with you what took place in Lanka during the captivity. I will tell you about Mata's great sacrifice. My mother and I took our evening meal by ourselves that night, as the head of the ashram had left for a meditation retreat. I was glad for the time to be alone and quiet. My mother also didn't feel like speaking much. We ate our sparse meal and went to bed. I had slept very soundly the night before, but this night I couldn't sleep. As Soma had narrated her tale, the scenes had drifted across my mind, making me feel as if I had been there myself. Devi Sita, Sri Ram, and Lakshman had come alive for me, and now I felt as if I knew them personally, as if whatever they had gone through, I had also experienced. The terror of being grabbed by Ravan had entered me and shaken me to the core. I could not free myself from the feeling. I waited impatiently for the dawn to come, tossing and turning, at times pretending to sleep. At the first race, I was up and ready to go. My mother saw my state and realized I hadn't slept, and so agreed to go to Soma without taking the morning meal. Prepare yourself, Anusuya. I am sure what Soma will narrate today will disturb us greatly. None of us have heard what took place in Lanka, only that our Maharani was tortured and that Sri Ram and his army rescued her. That is all we know. I am sure there is much more to tell and Soma will relay it. I quietly replied. I don't think my fear of marriage was the real reason that we came here. Because I had wanted to tell you that I will agree to whatever marriage you and Pitaji decide for me. There is something else that drew us here, Ma, and I don't know what it is. My mother took my hands in hers and smiled. Perhaps it was to help you re-establish your connection with Maharani Sita. You loved her from the moment you were born, but you never knew her. Now through Soma, you are coming to know her again. Sita's sacrifice. Ha! Exclaimed Soma as we sat before her in the early morning. Her voice, which previously had been so soft and gentle, now boomed through the air and it startled us. I nearly jumped from my seat. He thought he had tricked Mata, but the trick was on him. The sorrowful tone of Soma's voice of the day before had turned to one of defiance. He didn't know that her entry into Lanka was essential for his defeat. It was he, not she, who had fallen for the trap. She didn't know what lay before her, but she knew that she had come to the earth for this, to rid earth of the growing negative forces that would derail all of earth's life from its destined course. Her entry into Lanka was Mata's great sacrifice, undertaken for the sake of us all. So then it was by her design? Murmured my mother in disbelief. There has been talk of this, but no one in Ayodhya has paid much heed to those rumors. Soma rose slightly from her seat on the floor and turned her eyes to my mother, speaking slowly, in a determined voice, with a steely look replacing her soft and gentle demeanor. What I am about to tell you is not known to the people of Ayodhya, for they are not ready to hear of the trials of their Maharani, but only of the bravery and victory of their Maharaja. I don't blame them for this. The tide is turning, and the feats of women will not be spoken of in the future. Women are receding into the shadows now. I have seen this, and so has Mata. Her face softened and she continued. After Mata returned Ayodhya, she never spoke of her time in Lanka. I suspect not even to Sri Ram. The only one she spoke to about her trials was Hanuman. Born into the Vanar race, Hanuman's monkey-like form was taken by Mahadev in order to help Sri Ram and Mata Sita complete their mission. There was a deep bond between Mata and Hanuman, a very precious bond indeed. Hanuman was like Mata's child, a devoted and loving child. He would travel to the ends of the universe for her if need be. It was he who told me the stories after Mata had left her body. Mata rarely spoke about her own achievements and told him it was not necessary to make public what she had to endure. She said that those who needed to know would know. I am passing on this narrative to you and your daughter to share as you see fit, and to the others gathered here who have heard these stories before. I looked around and saw that a group of ascetics had come into the small hut. I had been so engrossed in Soma that I had not heard them enter. They sat quietly with closed eyes and folded hands. After speaking these words, Soma slowly sank onto the floor and with closed eyes began rocking gently back and forth. She picked up her story where she had left off the previous day. After Mata had been dragged onto Ravana's aircraft, she was able to shake herself free of his grasp. The fact that he had laid a hand on her created a response that I never saw in Mata. Anger. That was not a natural state for her, but anger arose and she lashed out at him. How dare you? How dare you lay a hand on me? I will go into your demon's nest, but I will go willingly, not as your captive. Never, Ravan, will I be your captive. Jai Shri Ram. Do subscribe if not yet subscribed. Keep watching. Please watch complete videos, like, comment and share. And thank you again for a good response. Have a wonderful day. Jai Shri Ram.